Hello and welcome to the Mindful Monday meditation session. And we're starting a new phase in our journey with meditation this week. We've been looking at mudras and we're going to be moving into looking at Swara Yoga. But before we get into that and start looking at that, let's begin as we begin with a nice short meditation. If this is your first time with I Meditate and this is the first video you're watching, very simple. Just follow the instructions to the best of your ability. That's it. There's nothing that you're going to be asked to do that you haven't been able to do pretty well naturally from birth. No one ever had to teach you how to do these things. And it's basically breathing, focusing, and relaxing. As a baby, you could do it quite well. So the ability's there. You just got to bring it all together again. And along the way, sometimes might ask you to picture or imagine stuff. And I don't use the V word, visualize, because people go, oh, I can't. However, if I was to talk to you about a red cat and a green apple, and you knew what I was talking to about, even though you might not be getting the image in your mind, we use language by associating it to the image. So you are actually visualizing. You're just not consciously aware of that visualization. So if I ask you to picture, imagine stuff, I'm just asking you to think about it, however you think about it. As always, we begin with a stretch and a fidget. Get comfortable. Take a nice deep breath in. And we'll take three. In fact, we'll take 3 deep breaths together. Getting comfortable. And you may choose to close your eyes on the first breath. You may choose to close your eyes on the second breath. Or you may choose to close your eyes on the third breath. But whenever it is you choose to close your eyes and relax, you can get the most out of this session today. So let's take a deep breath in. Hold it and breathe out. Taking a second deep breath in. Hold it and breathe out. Taking a third wonderful deep breath in. Hold it and just breathing out. If you've not done so already, allowing your eyes to close as you continue to breathe, returning to your natural rhythm and relax with every breath, with every moment. There's nothing else to do, just relax. And the more you relax, the better you can feel, and the better you feel, the more you can relax with each section of this wonderful session we're sharing today. Just tell yourself, I am going to relax. I'm going to meditate. Everyday thoughts will not distract me. Everyday sounds will not disturb me. It all just helps me relax and go deeper. And I wonder as you're breathing and relaxing and just how deep you can go today. So just follow your breath for a moment. Following the breath all the way in. And breathe into the pit of the stomach. Imagine you're breathing into the pit of the stomach. This encourages the body to take a fuller, deeper breath. Follow the air all the way in, up through the nostrils and down into the stomach. Then all the way back out again. And I'm going to invite you in a moment to just allow a word to come to mind. This is a word that captures kind of that which you look for when you're meditating or relaxing. So it could be relaxed, or it might be inner peace, or calm, or bliss. It could be connection, it could be oneness, a positive word that captures a feeling. And with that word in mind, just gently repeat it in your mind on the in-breath and the out-breath. And as you're repeating that and you're listening to my voice and continuing to relax, I wonder what images, sounds, memories come to mind as you repeat that word. And just choose one of those images, one of those thoughts, and just step into it. Be in that place that you were. Be in that image in your mind. Hear the things you hear, see the things you see. And I don't know where you begin to notice that now first. That part of you that physically responds to that word and all that it means. Maybe it's a toe or a foot. Maybe an elbow or a knee, maybe a shoulder, or in a certain rib. Even at the back of your head or the tip of your nose. Wherever it is, you begin to notice that feeling related to your word now. Just observe it. And as you pay attention to that sensation, that feeling, notice how it can begin to grow, to spread with every breath. Breathing in energy that allows that feeling and sensation to begin to expand within you. So if it's in a foot, maybe it spreads up the leg, or if it's in a shoulder, it moves down into the torso. Wherever you begin to notice that now, expanding, just allow whatever that is to continue, that allows you to experience whatever that word is now in this time. And I wonder how you can experience more of that now. Allowing that feeling to spin and flow within you. And just imagine a you who can experience 10 times more, whatever that is, 10 times the peace, the calm, the bliss, the joy, whatever that is, that word. Just imagine and picture that you experiencing even more of that feeling now. And then step into that you. try that you on. See what that you sees, hear what that you hears, and sense and feel that stronger sense of whatever that feeling is for you now. And then as you relax more and breathe, just begin to allow yourself, your mind, to drift. And whilst your mind drifts, it can begin to discover, your inner self can begin to discover new and better ways of experiencing more of that in your life each and every day, and to enjoy doing so. And even if you may not be aware of how yet consciously, your inner self and your unconscious mind can explore the possibilities that allow you to discover even more of that feeling in all that you do. That's it, and just returning back now, just gently coming back, just in your own time, your own pace, and ready to move forward into the teaching part of today's session. That's right, all the way back, feeling good, relaxed, and centered. And so fully back, let's take a look and start looking at Swara Yoga. Now, Swara Yoga is the ancient science of pranic body rhythms, of how prana, life force energy, or you could say Reiki, can be controlled by the manipulation of the breath. It's also a practice that can lead to union, to unity, to that self-realization, hence it being a path of yoga. But it's not to be confused with pranayama and breathwork, which we've looked at a little bit in the past, which focuses on the breath differently. The physical act of breathing is said to subtly influence our consciousness, which I think, as you've been plugging into I Meditate for a while now, you're probably aware of how breathing and shifting your breathing changes your consciousness and also how your body feels. And that shift can be subtle, which is why with Swara Yoga, sometimes the effects and benefits of it are subtle, other times not, but can be subtle. Our breathing is our constant. It is with us 24 hours a day, and without it, we've got about 3 minutes of life left in us. It really is one of our greatest treasures. We are born with breath as our first companion, and it will be with us until the very end. And each breath can signal information to us, can communicate to us. So it can lead us to enlightenment, and it can also, it can tell us how we're doing mentally, emotionally, and physically. And by listening to that, we can then change and shift and adapt our breathing to compensate and allow for that. Our ordinary breathing is very kind of mechanical. It just operates, as we know, just carries on doing its thing. Whereas with Swara breathing, it becomes a very much conscious process, and we control the breathing depending on what we need from our breath, as far as the energy that we're breathing in. And prana is same with any form of energy. Reiki is when you're breathing in, that the breath carries the energy, that life force, into your body. As you breathe out, you're expelling. And what I want you to do is, just for a moment now, you don't have to close your eyes for this. If it helps, then do so. But just for a while, just notice how you're breathing. Now, we're not following the breath like we do when we're meditating. Just be aware of whether you're breathing through your left nostril or your right nostril. Because we've just done some meditation, you may even be breathing at the moment through both. And this is significant. You see, every hour to about an hour and 20 minutes, we perceive ourselves as just breathing normally through our noses, and we just assume that it's both nostrils. But actually, our body has a rhythm, and between every hour to an hour and 20, it shifts. It goes from the left side to the right side, and also sometimes to both nostrils. If that pattern, that rhythm, becomes irregular, that's usually an indication that either we're fighting off an illness or something within our bodies is maybe not working as fully or as healthily as it could do. And again, by being able to use our breath through Swara Yoga, we can then change that breathing and direct that energy to where we need it within ourselves and our lives. And so let's just look at that. I mean, I'm not sure whether you've got left nose, right nose, whichever way around you're breathing it. But let's just look at what that significant of. And we're starting off simply. I'm not going to chuck lots of stuff into this session, just enough for you to start thinking about the ideas and to be able to kind of see the point behind the exercise I'm going to give you. So there are three swaras: mind, life force, and soul, otherwise known as chitta for mind, prana is life force, atma is soul or spirit. And the chitta is connected to and influences our sensory nerve systems, our sensory things. So our sight, our sense of smell, our nose, our ears, our hearing, our tongues, our skin. The sensory organs actually is the word I was after. And so that's chitta, that's mind. Then we have the kind of organs of action, those organs that do kind of things. So speech, hands, feet, reproductive organs, and urinary and excretory organs. That's governed by and controlled through prana. And atma, the spirit, soul, that's the overall, that's your computer show, that's your control panel, that's that which is beyond and watches over. Coming back to our nostrils, left nostril, if you were finding yourself breathing through your left nostril, then your mental energy is currently predominant. So that energy that goes into all those mental processes, mind, thinking, creativity, all that listening is all predominant, but it means your physical energy, your life force energy, is lower. Switch that round. If you're breathing through your right nostril, then that means your prana, your life force, is more. So you're probably more up for doing something physical than something mental. But because it means if you're breathing predominantly through your right nostril, like I am at the moment, then that means that mentally you're weak. Your energies are weak, mental energies are weak. And, I had a late night last night, and not a beery late night, just a late night, and was awake quite early. So I'm feeling tired. So it would make sense that my mental energy is low because my brain is tired at the moment. I'm not maybe woke up as much yet as I'd like to be. Now with Swara Yoga, you can start controlling your breathing and start switching over. It's like, okay, I need more mental energy. So I switch consciously make that switch. So I'm now breathing up the left side, thus bringing more mental energy and vitality to myself, if that's the job that's needed at the time, because you match your breathing to the work you're doing. So if you're doing something physical, demanding in that sense, then you want to be drawing in that high prana, that life force. If you're doing something that's more mental and mind focused, then you want to have more energy in that sense. So you can see how you can start balancing your energy depending throughout the day what you're doing. It's fascinating and an amazing practice, but it is subtle. It is subtle. And so as we work more with Swara Yoga, we begin to be able to listen to our breathing, I guess is one way of looking at it, to notice our breathing, and it indicates to us what's active. So like I was just saying, if you've got some head stuff to do, but you're physically more charged than you are mentally, you need to switch that over. And by taking control of that breathing and learning different rhythms, you're then able to match your energy to the task at hand, and different types of breath and combinations of breath, even from your natural rhythms, will lead to different kinds of action. The left swara is mental action, as we've just been saying, thought, thinking, creativity, planning, organizing, all that head stuff. The right is your physical actions. That's your doing. That's everything from housework to marching up a mountain to whatever you're doing that's physical. And when you've got both nostrils breathing, that's your spiritual work. That's your spiritual action. That's when you're coming from that place of Atma, of soul and spirit. So how can we relate this? So if you're meditating and your right nostril is clear and the air and the prana is flowing that way, the likelihood is that you might be a bit fidgety or not be able to get quite comfortable, a bit restless when you're trying to meditate. If your left nostril is flowing, but the right nostril is the one that is not, then as you're meditating, there is a possibility that you're going to find your mind won't settle and you're a bit distracted and you find it difficult to focus. Once you slip into, and this is where you're going to lead us to the exercise I want you to try in a bit, once you slip into meditation, you start breathing through both nostrils and it balances mind and body. And that is when you step into your meditation. That's where you're being your meditation. You'd find the same with your Reiki work. If you're a Reiki practitioner, if you're working and channeling energy, if you're breathing mostly through your right, then you're physically maybe going to be a bit, I don't know, maybe your arms are aching whilst you're doing it, or you can't quite relax into it. Left nostril, your mind might not be focusing on what you're meant to be focusing on. So in any activity, in fact, you can see how it affects. The first rule of Swara is to have the correct action for the appropriate Swara, which is kind of what I've been saying, is that if you're doing physical stuff, you want that correct Swara. You want to be breathing through the right. If you're doing mind and head stuff, you want to be breathing more through the left. So you're matching the breath work or the way you're breathing to your activities, which helps you bring more energy into what you're doing. How do we do this? Well, that's the journey of Swara Yoga. We learn how to control and train ourselves to have that control over the Swara, over those three channels, left, right, and central, so we can match our breath to our actions. Swara Yoga aims, at the end of the day, to harmonize the body and mind through adjusting the actions of the Swara to meet what life is giving us, thus bringing us into harmony and balance with life and within ourselves. So the exercise I'm going to invite you to do, and we're not going to do it here today, but in your daily meditation practices and throughout the days between now and next session, what I'm inviting you to do is to just start to become aware in any moment which side or how you're breathing. So especially when you're doing meditation practice, And notice that as you get more into your meditation practice, you may switch from right as your body settles to left as your mind's settling. And then you'll come to that point where you kind of really enter into your meditation and suddenly you're breathing clearly through both nostrils. So look for that in your meditation practice, but look for it in everyday life. So if you're at work or if you're at home and you're having to plan something or think about stuff, pay attention to how you're breathing. If you notice, and this is the challenge, if you notice that you're trying to do something that's a bit heady, but you're breathing right nostril, try to consciously shift that. There we go. As always, play around with this, explore it, and maybe share how you're getting on with it during the week, either in the chat or in the members forum on the website. So that's our first look at Swara Yoga. And we're going to move now into the final part of today's session, which is our loving kindness meditation. We'll begin by taking 3 deep breaths together. And you can close your eyes on the first breath to relax and get the most out of this. Close your eyes on the second breath to relax and get the most out of this. Or you can wait, close your eyes on the third breath and relax and get the most out of this. But whenever you choose to close your eyes, relax and get the most out of this, I know you can have a deep and wonderful experience today. So let's begin. Taking a deep breath in, hold it, and breathe out. Taking a deep breath in, hold it, and breathe out. Taking a third wonderful deep breath in, hold it, and breathe out. Just spend a few moments just, again, breathing. Imagine you're breathing into the toes. And as you're breathing, as you're listening to this, I invite you to begin to become aware of a sense of kindness for yourself. Maybe there's an aspect of your life where you're giving yourself a bit of a hard time, or an aspect of yourself that you're kind of not so happy with at the moment. Just think of that aspect or that part of your life and send that kindness and that love into that aspect or area of your life. Allow that sense of kindness, loving kindness, to spin and flow within you, becoming stronger as it does so. Continue to send and fill that aspect of your life, that aspect of yourself, with that kindness, however you do that now. That's right. And now imagine someone who you like, a friend, somebody who you love, a family member, someone who you care for. Just imagine them in that room with you. And I don't know how you begin to start sending them that kindness, that loving kindness now. But whatever that is, however you do that now, just allow that to continue and start sending that loving kindness to that person. That's right. Imagine that person leaving, that blessing of kindness going with them. And now picture somebody who's an acquaintance, kind of, you're kind of neutral with them. You don't dislike them. You don't know them well enough to like them. Could be somebody that you serves you in a shop or a cafe. You kind of say hello to. Just picture them there with you, and again, send that kindness, that loving kindness from yourself to that person. However you do that now. Just imagine that person leaving the room, taking that blessing with them. And now imagine somebody who's been challenging for you, either in the present or in the past. For whatever reason, have found difficult. There's been a heated exchange of some descript. Just send that kindness, that loving kindness to them. Just allowing that loving kindness to ease and flow from you to them. That's right. And now think of this amazing world upon which we live in, and upon all people, all existences. Just allow that loving kindness to flow out from you to the world. See yourself as a radiant beacon, shining that loving kindness out to all people, all creatures, all existences. Then finally, just picture everyone here in this group today. And those people who can't be here, Donna and Anne. Just see that circle of light, sending that kindness out to each and every one. Just take that sense of loving kindness within you. When you're ready to return, to carry that within you for yourself and for others, out into the world like a beacon of light in all that you do. And that's right, coming all the way back. And as you're coming all the way back, when you're ready to open your eyes, feel good, and have a wonderful week, then you can start to do that. But don't open them until you are ready now to have a great week. And you can, and you will, discovering all those blessings and opportunities that the week holds for you. When you're fully back, have a stretch, have a fidget, or in my case, have a yawn. I do apologize. And feel good. Back here, back now. I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday for the Wednesday workshop. Take care. Bye bye.